Yes, those numbers are, can take your breath away after, a considerable amount of time where the market really did really well. This is an eye-opening. But I think if you look at it more closely, you'll see that a lot of it, the second and third quarter sales, because of, as Robert said, the mansion tax had a big bearing on all of those sales that normally would have occurred in the third quarter, closed in the second quarter so that they could beat the July 1st deadline and save money. Everybody wanted to save money.
Okay. We still do have, though, this sort of supply overhang. Is that not the case? I mean, how long does it take to absorb
going up.
all that?
It's up about 6.2%. It's going to continue. 6.2 is not a huge number, but it's inching up. I think it goes to the point that this is clearly a buyer's market. A buyer has an advantage in this market. This whole market adjustment is the way I like to look at it. Started in probably the second quarter of 2018, and it's slowly gone up the line here.
The thing is, though, I have heard since last year, this is the bottom. This is the quarter. This is the bottom. Where is the bottom, do you think?
It's not today, and it's not tomorrow.
How many months? How many years do you think? Based on
I think probably about 18 months. I think we're progressing to that probably time frame.
And what has to happen? Do sellers finally have to just adjust and say the price that I thought my place was worth in 2014 is not realistic?
Yes.
What has to happen?
That's exactly right. So the whole message of this market for the last 2 years is trying to get the seller convinced you cannot get your price anymore. If you want to sell, you can't get your price. If you don't want to sell, don't sell. And a lot of people took their properties off the market during that period, certainly 2018.
But now they're coming back.
Now they're coming back, and actually there are sales, but not at the level that's going to say to the sellers, hey, you're going to get your price. That's
Were there big miscalculations by developers? I mean, are certain types of properties just not working? There's too much of one kind, not enough of another?
Maybe, but, a developer is just like any other seller. Just any other homeowner, it's just they have a lot of them. And I think the reality is that they want to hold out. They have a huge investment. They put, in many cases, all of their money in these development projects, and they want to get as much as they can.
But the question is, how long can they hold out, and is there a point where they just...
That's the question.
Robert listed a long list of all the problems, all the reasons that this is happening, that comes from federal tax laws, but it also comes from local tax laws. What do you think the biggest problem is?
I think it's very costly living in New York City, and I think it's very costly living in New York State. But, raising the mansion tax probably didn't help the luxury market at all. But it got offset by lower interest rates. They're down 1% year over year. That's incredible. I think the statistic about, traditionally, all cash transactions are about 80%. Here, it was 44.2%. That's pretty incredible.
But is that strictly people being opportunistic about the low rates, or is it just there's just not that much real money available?
No, I think they're being opportunistic. I don't blame them.
And another issue that we overlook is the stronger dollar. I mean, a lot of buyers, they look at that cost now for them, is especially from developing countries, is markedly higher. What do you see as the influence of the foreign buyer situation right now? In 2014, 2015, when we were at our peak, they may not have been a big percentage of the market, but they were buying a lot of the new, most expensive product. Do you see them coming back? Which countries are still buying, and who are the Chinese gone from this market right now?
The Chinese buyer is still there, but at a much lower level. It's difficult to get the money to close, and they're frightened also, and there's a lot of attention on them. So do I think that buyer's coming back? Not immediately.
The Russians are gone.
The Russians are gone.
The
South Americans are gone. The Brazilians were huge buyers in this market. Certainly in New York City, huge buyer.
Maybe
and
we still have
Miami.
a few Canadians. Maybe that's what's going to save us.
We haven't signed Mesca yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Swiss franc's really strong. We'll see.